Please like this video and subscribe to our channel. Podcasts, the series. This is part one. What is a podcast? I'm Huey Poplock. This is part one of the series. Part two and part three will be over the next several weeks. So, what is a podcast? A podcast is an audio program, just like talk radio, but you subscribe to it on your smartphone and listen to it whenever you like. A podcast is a series of spoken word, audio episodes, all focused on a particular topic or theme, like technology, cycling, or startups. You can subscribe to the show using an app on your phone and listen to the episodes whenever you like on your headphones, in your car, or through speakers. If you're new to this, it can be easier to understand if you look at how radio or TV personalities are turning their shows into podcasts. But remember, podcasts have gone way beyond radio. You'll find out more about that in a minute. So, if you're a fan of a personality, you can subscribe to the podcast and episodes that are delivered to you each week. That means you can listen to them anytime, rather than be stuck to the radio or TV at the same time each week. Many escape the shackles of traditional radio formats to explore brilliantly original approaches and completely niche subjects. For example, they can be any length, from 1-minute news snippet to a 3-hour in-depth interview. They can be any frequency, from daily to monthly. They can be any format, from simple solo shows up to a mammoth multi-person audio drama. They can cover any topic, many of which would never make it onto radio. No matter what you're into, you'll find a show that suits the topics you love and the time that you have. This is from the iHeartRadio listing of podcasts. So if you're into politics, you can listen to the left or you can listen to the right, whatever your choice is. Or if you follow entertainment, it can be anything from Dr. Oz to some technology stuff, to the humor of the Ron Burgundy podcast, to On Air with Ryan Seacrest, or Nikki Glasser podcast, and even questions and answers from Minnie Driver. Here are the top 20 podcasts from July of this year. The Daily from the New York Times is ranked number 1. You'll notice that there are several coming from the NPR, or National Public Radio. The publisher doesn't always matter when it comes to where you listen to the podcasts. Many of these are on several podcast applications, and you can subscribe to them on any of the various programs. Most podcasts today are audio only, even though video podcasts do exist. Podcasting has really grown out of the need for background content. That means something that can entertain you, educate you, or inspire you in the background of other boring or rote activities. For example, one of the most common ways people listen is in the car. You can't watch video there, of course, so audio content is great. In the same way, podcasts are great for listening at the gym while you're mowing the lawn or on your journey to work. Any moment of wasted time can be a moment for audio. You'll see the Amazon device on the dashboard, and that's how I listen to podcasts. That's one of the ways I listen to podcasts. Of course, that means you need something to listen on, so you might need to get yourself a set of headphones to connect to your smartphone. Otherwise, connect up to your car via Bluetooth, or start listening on the Amazon device or other smart speakers. When you listen to a podcast, you'll discover that many of them are quite familiar. You'll have heard similar types of content over the years, from radio to a TV talk show. On the other hand, you'll also hear podcasts that are completely new and entirely different to the norm. thanks to the freedom that podcasting allows. Most podcasts will be themed around one particular topic. The host or hosts will talk about that topic on every episode. Sometimes it's really specific. Here are the topics on the iHeart podcast lists. Each episode is normally run by one or two regular presenters talking about that subject, and they'll often get outside guests on to contribute or to be interviewed. A lot of podcasts are really simple. Just a few friends chatting about something they're all really passionate about, like movies, knitting, or running a business. But some are really polished and super professional, including theme music, sound effects, and professional editing and more. The more professional podcasts are great to listen to, but they take a lot more time and money to produce. The amateur shows, on the other hand, might have a few rough edges, but it means they can get it out every single week and grow a loyal following. Most people listen to a bit of both types. The biggest factor in most podcasts is the host or hosts, and you'll gravitate towards topics and hosts that you like more than the approach that they take. The most complicated aspect of answering the question, what is a podcast, and where many people get confused, is in the difference between a simple audio file and a full-blown podcast. The simplest explanation is that an audio file and a podcast episode are technically the same. If you've downloaded a podcast episode from a podcast site, you've already discovered the fact that you're just downloading an audio file. The difference comes when you add the option to subscribe to that series of audio files. So if you use a podcast hosting service to allow people to subscribe to your series of audio recordings, then you've suddenly turned them from a simple audio file into a fully functional podcast. They're still just audio files, but alongside the subscription, you can now call them a podcast too. The subscription aspect is done for you automatically if you use a good podcast hosting company, but you might want to know a little bit about how it works. It's run through a technology called RSS, that's the tricky bit, and it's just a computer language that lets your podcasting software talk to a podcasting website. This has been part 1, What is a Podcast, of the podcast, the series. Next will be how to listen to a podcast. I'm Huey Poplock. Thanks for joining.